What's going on, guys? It's your man, Dr. Will, and you guys know the deal. Let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Even if you're watching this on the replay, let me know what city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. I'm here in the beautiful city of Phoenix, Arizona, where God vacations. So wherever you are in the world, let me know. No, I'm out here on my morning walk, and I was just thinking this morning about success. So I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys a little bit about success and what I found to be a struggle for a lot of people when it comes to success. And when we talk about success, we know that success is personal for everybody. You know, success for some people could be your career. It could be your position. It could be the amount of money you have. It could be the cars you drive, the house you live in. Success for everybody is totally different. But what I found out after working with thousands of entrepreneurs, leaders over the years, it's usually a struggle mentally for people to achieve the success that they want. And I'm going to explain why that is. When you understand that in between your ears, that thing called your brain, that thing called your mind, that's where everything is housed at. That's where your faith is. That's where your fear is. That's where your doubt is. That's where your belief is. That's where your best ideas are. They're all housed in the same place, and they're all fighting for preeminence, right? You have faith and fear always fighting, and whatever you feed the most is going to win. You feed your faith will win. You feed fear will win. But it's all coming not externally, it's all coming internally. And until you can win the battle of the mind, then success is going to be hard for you. But let me tell you what has happened to us. The majority of us have been raised in a system, and this is going to make so much sense to you, and hopefully it's going to help you break through, right? We've been raised in a system, and I like to call it job description and resumes. Job descriptions and resumes. So we grew up in a system that says we go and we look at a job description. We look at a job description. We look at a certain position we want in life, and we look at the job description. Just using this as an example, but this is how we think about everything in life. We look at this position we want in life. We look at this thing we want in life. We can even look at this person we want in life. And I want you to frame it, and I want you to think about it as whatever you want in life. I want you to think that there's a job description that goes along with that, right? If you want this position, there's a job description that you have to fit to get that job. We call it our resume. When we look at a job, we look at a position, we look at the job description, and then we look at our resume to see if our resume fits the job description. And if our resume fits the job description, so let's say, for instance, if the job description said you need a bachelor's degree, we look at our resume and we say, boom, I got the bachelor's degree. We look at the job description, and the job description says experience in using Word, experience in using Excel spreadsheets. So we go to our resume and we say, yep, I got that certificate. I got a Word certificate, got an Excel certificate, and we're matching our resume. We're matching our resume with the job description to see if we qualify. Now notice this, to see if we qualify to apply for that position. We do this in everything in life. When you think about something you want, You want a car, right? You look at what it would take to get that car. So let's say we look at the car, we want the car, but then we say, okay, what's my credit score? How much down payment do I have? What's on my financial resume? What's on my financial resume? Do I have a 650 credit score? Do I have a 5%, 10% down payment? Can I make these monthly payments based off of my salary, right? Well, if you truly want to be successful and you truly want to reach your goals and you truly want to live an exceptional life, what I found to be true in life, it has little to do with your present qualifications, but it has everything to do with your mindset. It has everything to do with your mindset. It has everything to do with your mindset. You know, when I think about myself, if I look at what I'm currently doing right now in life and look at my resume, right? Look at my resume, I would have totally been disqualified, because if I looked at what I'm doing in life, successful entrepreneur, one of the top motivational speakers in the world, running $1 million company. If I looked at my resume, born in Compton, California, raised by a single mother, ex-gangbanger, ex-drug dealer, speech impediment, PTSD since the age of 7. If I look at my resume didn't speak to me qualifying for the position that I'm in today. But the way that I got here, where I am today, is totally because of my mindset. It's totally because of my mindset. In spite of what other people would say was disqualifications for that position. If I would have applied to be one of the top speakers in the world based on my resume, I wouldn't have got selected. If I would applied to be a CEO of $1 million company, I wouldn't have got selected, because I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to Yale Business School, right? I didn't go to the Wharton School of Business. So if I would have applied to be a CEO of $1 million company, I would have got rejected. If I would have applied to be a CEO of $1 million company. So instead of applying to be a CEO of $1 million company, I built one. And that's my mindset. It's my mindset. That's Champ walking to school right there. That was my mindset, right? If I would have applied, and some of you are not getting to the level you want in life because you're basing it off of society's requirements for you to live that type of life, for you to have that type of position. Some of you want to be a CEO of a company. Some of you want to be an HR director, and it may not happen until you go build your own thing. But because watch this now, our mindset, and we're creatures of habit. We find the habits that protect us. We find the habits that make us safe. We find the routines that we're comfortable with, and we keep living off those routines. And so for years, like, how amazing is it? It's just amazing to me that 80% of most career professionals, they say, are unhappy with their jobs. They're unsatisfied with their degree, but those same individuals push their kids in that same path. Those 80% of people are complaining about college loans, and then they push their kids into that same direction because their mind is locked into that routine. Even though they don't like it, even though they're disgusted with it, that's the routine that they know. That's the path that they know. That's the path that they know. They haven't stopped to say, wait a minute, let me think, is there a better path to doing this? Is there a better way of doing this? But because we get locked in to this one way of doing things, let me go get a college degree. Let me go apply for jobs. Let me look at certain job descriptions. Let me see if my resume fits that job. And I'm using the example as a job, but we do this in life. We do this in life. How many of you have driven past that neighborhood where your dream house is? And what have you told yourself? What have you told yourself? What qualifications have you told yourself that you need to move into that house that is locking you out? That is locking you out because you're thinking, oh, the only way I can live in this neighborhood, the only way I could probably afford that type of house is blah, 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 blah. Right? But there's 1,000,001 ways to get that house, to acquire a house, to live in that neighborhood. But if you're stuck in thinking that I got to look at the job description, and I want you guys to use this example in every area of your life. What are you looking at and saying, oh, this is what it takes? And so since that's not on my resume, I can't have that right now, or I can't do that, or I can't accomplish that. When I look at my life today, everything I'm doing, guys, everything I'm doing, if I went off of what society's job description was, and I looked at my resume, there's no way I would have qualified. There's no way I would have been selected by society's norms. So what you got to do is you got to win the battle in between your mind. And your mind and the genius that's on the inside of you is far more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. You're far more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for. And so I want you to go back, look at some dreams that you have. I want you to go back and look at some goals that you want to achieve. And stop looking at your resume to see if you qualify. I want you to look at, am I willing to do what it takes to get what I want? Am I willing to do what it takes to get what I want? That's the question you got to ask yourself. About your resume. It's not about your pedigree. It's not about what side of the tracks you were born on or anything like that. It literally simply boils down to, am I willing to put in the effort that's required to get what I want? That's the difference, guys. That is the difference. If you like, I've read something like 800 biographies of successful individuals. And over 95% of these individuals, if you went off of society's qualifications, if you look at Oprah Winfrey, do you think Oprah Winfrey had the resume to become a billionaire? Pregnant by the age of 14, a runaway, a African-American woman in television, goes up against Phil Donahue for the #1 show in America, beats Phil Donahue, syndicates her show, becomes a billionaire. Do you think that was on her resume? Do you think that was on her resume? When you look at a Tyler Perry becoming a billionaire, do you think that was on his resume? Homeless, living in his car, doing $10, what we call chicken circuit production shows. The ticket prices were $10 to go see one of Tyler Perry's shows. Do you think that speaks to becoming the owner of your own studio? Do you think his resume speaks to that? LeBron James being born to a single mother in Akron, Ohio. Do you think that resume lends to him becoming a billionaire? Do you think it lends to him becoming a billionaire? Jay-Z, former drug dealer, single parent home. Do you think his resume lends to him becoming a billionaire? If you would have put all of these people's resume on the table and you would have said, are any of these individuals going to become a billionaire? I guarantee you 99.9% of the people who looked at those resumes would have said this girl that's 14 that just had a miscarriage, just lost her baby. She's not going to become a billionaire. This guy that's homeless, that's living in his car, he's not going to become a billionaire. This kid born in Akron, Ohio, to a single mother, one of the roughest parts of the country, is probably not going to become a billionaire. This drug dealer from Marcy Projects is probably not going to become a billionaire based on what the resume said. That's why you can't go off the resume. You can't look at what you've been through and determine what you've been through qualifies you for what you desire. Let me say that again. You can't look at what you've been through as a determination of what you're able to create, what you're able to go after, what you're able to have in life. You can't look at it. If I looked at my resume, I don't qualify to do anything that I'm doing. I don't qualify to do anything that I'm doing. But I learned that in this life, what you really want to go after, it's not determined. And this is why I always tell people, your start doesn't determine your finish. Your start doesn't determine your finish. You determine your finish. All right, guys, I hope this gave you something to think about. I hope you put it into action. Stop looking at what society says you need to have. Stop looking at what society says you need to be, how you need to look, and all that kind of stuff. Start looking at your desire for what you want and let your desire for what you want supersede anybody's negativity, anybody's doubt, and anybody's pushback to who you want to become. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later.